All right, time for another quick one here. So we got Faherty coming on step. Should be coming out of route to you guys pretty quickly. So it's going to be essentially something we've done before. I think Zadig Voltaire, where it's got push-through letters that are mounted to a Raceway. But so about 80% the same. But I just want to kind of go over the 20% that's different and kind of show you what I was thinking, show you what needs to happen. So that being said, let's get after it. So we got our lay of the land here. So you'll have your Raceway parts, got some internals, end jigs, caps, end caps, all that. Got a lid back here, it goes on top. And then you got your letter faces themselves. They'll have some bend scribes, and you're going to bend up the bottoms. And then I went ahead and sent some of the returns in 09, and I'll show you that. External power vault, it's going to work pretty good. Just rivet that together. And then we have the 1/4-inch plates that get welded inside. Those are for mounting. And then kind of custom reverse channel tabs. And then we have our backers, 080 whites. Those are going to be for the LEDs and close up the back. 3/4-inch clear acrylic. And we've got our 1/8-inch clear tough act that they get glued in, siliconed in, so you know what's up. All right, so basically you're just going to put the Raceway together like we do. Internal jigs there, tack it all up, get your gun in there, tack the mounting plates in, make sure they're nice and strong, make sure they're towards the face. The mounting hole's kind of justified to the back, so that way they can get through they can frap through the little access doors there. So get this thing all riveted together, or lords together, welded together, all that, put the faces on, and then you're going to do 1/4-inch steel riv nuts, not 5/16, 1/4-inch. And that'll allow you to put it together a lot easier on the steps coming up. For power vault, just while I'm here, you're just going to go ahead and rivet all this together. Make sure you get the switch on the switch side. The power supply is kind of justified to the one side. Switch custom plate goes on the inside there. And then they'll be able to mount that anywhere they need to. And then they'll run power right up to the back right there. So basically it's the letters that I want to point out. Part of the reason why I wanted to go to the 1/4-20 riv nuts rather than have you just kind of frap some self-tappers, some number 10s in there, is because these guys are going to have 3/4-inch pushies, plus they're pushing, I believe they're closer to 16 inches tall, right, 14, 15 and a half. So with the 3/4, with the backer here, and with this 1/8 or 080 white, you got LEDs. Each of these letters are going to be pretty beefy. So they're going to be chunky fat. So I wanted to make sure that these guys are strong. And so like when it comes to like the A, when you go to put the frap in there, you won't be able to get your gun in there very well to get a screw, and it might not get nailed down properly. So the reason why I went with 1/4-20 is that way you can get a wrench inside these ones that are kind of like the slanted ones. That way you can get a wrench in there, you can thumb tighten it, and then screw it down, and it's nice and strong. So that's kind of why I went that direction. So again, 1/4-20 riv nuts. Because they're so heavy, that's why I'm bringing this up. We want to make sure that we have the strength. So what you're going to do is I sent over 090 chunks for part of the returns. Those are the parts that can attach to the part that you're going to grab and bend. So you're going to grab these here, bend them up like you've done before. And then at that point, you're going to be able to bend these up, and you will be able to weld these to this tab. That's the most important thing. So I wanted to make sure that the mounting pad here that gets those 1/4-20 screws, then go ahead and burn. And I would go ahead and put a stitch on this. Don't just tack it. I'd run like a 1/2-inch weld on this here and there to make sure that this guy has beef attached to that tab. And then you can see where the red is. That's where you're going to have an 09 ability there to be able to weld that directly. So everything that's not red, you're just going to go ahead and fill in with 05 from that point on. So you can see where this little part here, these inner parts here. I would have sent over all 090, but I didn't quite know how to hit these. I'm still not quite good at that, how to get those on center. So, I'll work on that once I have nothing to do one of these days. But otherwise, I figured it would just easier to you guys just knock out the sort of inside ones. So go ahead and bend these up first, the 09s, and then you can lay them onto the face. And then you can go ahead and then use them to lay out and you can do your seam pieces and stuff and get your seams nice and tight for all of your leftover 050 chunks. Just stomp shear them at 3 inches, make sure they match the height and all that. So anyway, but that's the main thing, is make sure that where you have 09 connecting to these tabs here, make sure you burn that really well. That way it'll put up with any wind load. Plus, like I said, it's got the 3/4 pushies. It's going to have some weight. So we want to make sure it doesn't rip apart or anything under stress, under wind load, sitting there vibrating while we're sleeping. The wind doesn't sleep. So anyway, so take your time to weld those up nice, get them nice and strong. So that's it. And then on this right here, you're just going to do sort of a Mr. Softy. I have custom tabs here that don't have a bend on them. You just have the single bend. And then you're just going to rivet those like normal backers. And then they're going to go inside, and then you can just eyeball yourself either 3/16 or a 1/4 inch in, and then go ahead and mount them. And then you can go ahead and caulk them up when everything's painted, final assembly. You put your LEDs on there, and then run the LED wire into the Raceway. And then this is all just secondary connection. We don't have to worry about water leaks or anything. And then make a leash and get a leash out. I imagine it's going to be one power supply for this. And then just get your leash out and make sure it's long enough for them to be able to attach to their little power supply box here. And then that way all install has to do is run primary to this guy. So anyway, so that was just it, pointing that out. But yeah, you'll need some kind of blocks. Let's say, just real quick, that block is 15 3/4. So if you cut your block at 15 and just under 3/4, oh no, that's scaled. Never mind. What am I doing here? So let's see. Well, we get a little side view here. There you go. Yeah, that's scale. That's not 15. There we go. What do we got? Yeah, just under 2 3/4 there. You can see it's 2.73. So if you cut some blocks that are around 2 3/4, maybe a little less, then that'll give you your lip on the back, and then you can space off the backer there and drill your holes. So, anyway, and then silicone them up when we're done, or caulk them up. Make sure there's no light leaks. And then it's ready to ship. So, and then you guys have done this before too, where you put the pushies through and then trap them in with the backers, and then you're just going to silicone those backers in all the way around, and one shot deal there. So anyway, I think that's it. So if you have any questions, but I think you guys got it. But otherwise, if you have any questions, hit me up.